Using implicit differentiation, find the second derivative of y with respect to x if x cubed plus y cubed is equal to 8. Okay, before we can find the second derivative, what do we need to find? We need to find the first derivative. So find dy dx first. Okay, so I'm going to copy this equation real quick. And to find dy dx, we can use implicit differentiation. So I'm going to do d dx of both sides of the equation. So that's the first step. Now, what's d dx of x cubed? It's going to be 3x squared. And what's d dx of y cubed? It's going to be 3y squared dy dx. Okay, and what's d dx of 8? 0. All right, now to find dy dx, we need to get dy dx by itself from this equation. So how do we do that? So let's move everything that doesn't have dy dx to the other side of the equation. That's going to be our first step. And what should I divide by on both sides of this equation to get dy dx by itself? I'm going to divide by 3y squared. And how do we simplify this fraction? The 3's cancel, so you're left with negative x squared over y squared. Okay, so we figured out dy dx is equal to negative x squared over y squared. How do we figure out the second derivative of y with respect to x? So to do that, so it's going to be d dx of dy dx, which is going to be d dx of what? So dy dx is negative x squared over y squared. Okay, so how do I find d dx of this? What rule can I use? So we've got x squared negative x squared divided by y squared. So if there's division, what rule do we use? Quotient rule. Okay, so it's going to be negative low times low d high. Okay, so low d high So y squared times d dx of x squared minus high d low over low times low. So y squared times y squared is y to the power of 4. Just as a quick review, if we're multiplying y squared times y squared, it's y to the power of this plus this. So 2 plus 2 is 4. But yeah, the song for quotient rule goes like this. Low d high minus high d low over low times low. Wait, I need to sing it. Low d high minus high d low over low times low. Yeah, so low d high minus high d low over low times low. Okay, so that's equal to this. And so we're going to simplify this. So negative, so y squared times, what's d dx of x squared? 2x. And what's d dx of y squared? 2y dy dx. Okay, I'm just going to copy this. Okay, and we've got a dy dx over here. So to simplify this further, what can I plug in over here? So dy dx is negative x squared over y squared. Let's go ahead and change that. Okay, so negative. I'm going to just change this to alphabetical order. So 2xy squared. Okay. And then this is going to be minus. Here, we'll leave this as it is for now. 2y, and then times. So this gets changed to this. Times negative x squared over y squared, all over y to the power of 4. Okay, so now we're going to try to simplify this. I'm going to copy this expression. Whatever I write on this sheet of paper, you don't have to write down when showing your work. Yeah, I'm writing it here to elaborate on a few steps, on a few sub-steps. Okay, let's focus on what goes on inside of these two parentheses for now, because there's a lot going on. So it's 2y times negative x squared over y squared. Okay, so we won't work on this for now. We'll just work on this. And with multiplication, with the negative, I can move the negative sign in front. Okay, so it's negative 2y times x squared over y squared. Negative 2y times x squared over y squared. Okay, what can I cancel out over here? So we've got y on top and y on bottom. So that means we can cancel and cross out this y and cross out this. So if I divide by y on top and divide by y on bottom, what do I get? So you could think of this as y to the power of 1, right? y is the same thing as y to the power of 1. So if I cross this out, I have to subtract 1 from 2. So it's going to be negative 2, so this went away, over y to the power of 2 minus 1. So y to the power of 1, which is just y. Okay, but I'll just write the 1 there. And again, I'm multiplying this and this. I can move this in front. And then we've got 2x squared times x squared over y to the power of 1, which is just y. Now to combine these two, what do I need to do with the 2's? I need to add them. Okay. So that's what all this is going to simplify to. Okay. So we got negative 2x to the power of 4 over y. Okay, now this is the same thing as addition. And to simplify this further, I need to get rid of this fraction here. So what should I do? We can multiply the top and bottom by y. Okay. So this is going to give us what? So this times this times this. So this times this is the same thing as y to the power of 4 times y to the power of 1. What do I do with 4 and 1 again? Add them. Okay. So this is your answer. If you want to simplify it one step further, I'm going to distribute the negative sign over here. So it's going to be negative 2xy cubed minus 2x to the power of 4 over y to the power of 5. And then I'm going to split up the fraction. Okay, so this is going to turn into y squared. Okay, y squared. Okay, you don't need to write all this out when turning in your work. I think the grader will know when you go from here to here. They'll understand that you just simplified. Okay, this is your answer.